Well, hello everybody. This is Good Body, Good Brain. And today I am really, really excited to have someone with me. Her name is Connie Ann. And she's going to tell you quite a few things that have happened in her life that have sort of impacted her in a very wonderful, wonderful way. And then she's been able to take those types of impacts and help other people in their own wonderful ways. And I'm going to ask her to start off by telling us a little bit about where she's living and a little bit about her environment, and then we'll proceed from there. So, hello, Connie, and good to see you again.
Hey, Dr. Sally. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me here. I'm honored and privileged to be here. Thank you so much. So you want to know all about me, huh?
Yes.
Oh, wow. So, I am a Canadian, proudly Canadian. I currently live in British Columbia, Canada, on the West Coast. It's a beautiful area. I am 15 minutes away from the ocean, 15 minutes away from the mountains, and 15 minutes away from the U.S. border. Should I want to go across the border for the day and do some shopping down there, I can do that. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful part of the world. I live here with my amazing husband, country music artist, singer-songwriter. Mr. Troy Toma is my husband. Little plug there.
Oh.
I moved here because I found myself broken homeless. And I was complaining that to a friend of mine that, gee, this isn't where I thought I would be at this point in my life. And she said, you know what? You actually need to stop complaining. You can go anywhere you want. You can start over. Where do you want to live? Anywhere in the world. What do you want to do? And I used to come here with my family on holidays when I was a kid. So I'm like, I could go to the place where it's my holiday in my heart every day. And so here I am. I've been here for 13 years.
Yay.
I've only, since I've moved here, I've actually only gotten on a plane and gone on a holiday once in 13 years, because this is just such an amazing place. Why would anybody get on a plane and leave here? I don't know.
Well, you had a good friend that told you those things.
Yes. Yeah. Very wise woman. She was very spiritual. Back then, she really helped me to connect with myself when I started coming back to being whole. I connected with her, and she was a very wise woman. I don't know where she is anymore. We've lost contact, but if she's watching, thank you. You know who you are.
So I know that part of the world is extremely beautiful, sort of like we used to take trips up Highway 1 up to Northern California, where it's high sloping things that go down into the ocean, and just gorgeous and beautiful. And because you're a Canadian, you grew up in places that were cold, right? When you were growing up, when you were little?
I did. I grew up the next province over from British Columbia is Alberta. So just the other side of the Canadian Rockies. I grew up there, and yes, we've had a lot of cold, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I chose here. Is I was really kind of done of getting up in the 6 a.m. and chipping ice off my car and digging my way from the house to the sidewalk. Kind of was done with that. So I always joke to my family back home. They're like, "But it rains there all the time." I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't have to shovel it."
But it probably makes really beautiful roses, sort of like Seattle, Portland. They have some of the most beautiful roses in the world, and you do very little with them.
Beautiful rose gardens. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, and it's green grass here pretty much year round. And when it snows for like 3 days, and for the most part, I mean, exceptions to every rule, but yeah, it's beautiful. I love it here. I really do.
So then a wise person told you to stay there. How did you find the sort of management kind of program you eventually sort of decided to go with?
That's a really big question. Can you tell? not usually tongue-tied, so mark this day on your calendar. I am. It was a journey. It's been a long journey. Sometimes painful, but um, always a learning experience. I found myself um, about 20 years ago now, homeless. Um, my mom had just recently passed away, lost my job, my marriage ended. I was had everything I owned in the back of my car, and that wasn't very much. And that's, that point where, I realized that, wow,
Mhm.
this isn't where I thought I was going to be. To breathe. It literally hurt to breathe. I pray that no one is ever in such a spot where you just have to will yourself to get to the next breath and to the next half
Oh,
hour. So it was a devastating place when, we were younger and we were like, oh, I'm going to get married, I'm going to have kids, or I'm going to have a career, I'm going to, right? And you imagine that lifestyle we're going to live, and then you find out when your childbearing days are almost behind you that it's not going to happen. And where's my house with a white picket fence? Where is that life that I thought I was going to have? And you can't even, like I said, you can't even sometimes imagine getting to the next half hour. Now, I was never suicidal. I need to say that, but
mm,
it did literally hurt to breathe. And I was
mm,
sitting on the floor in an air mattress. A lady that had become my friend over time, somebody kind of a connection, had a room that was her storage room. And she said, well, my friends were reaching out trying to find a spot for me. And so, well, I'll clean out this room. She can put in a mattress on the floor. And so I was really blessed for an opportunity to have a roof over my head
mm.
from her until I got past it. And she was patient and she was kind and she gave me my space and she's just let me do my process. And somebody gave me a book called The Secret. So that book right there,
Wow.
that very book,
Wow.
I
Wow.
started reading it and I came to the realization, because I was thinking, how did this happen to me? How did this happen to my life? And why do I keep this? And I started realizing, because I was just sitting there trying to breathe and deciding if or what I'm going to eat today. And I'd lost so much weight that, people thought that I needed some therapy or some like real like intervention help. But I was just in such pain that I couldn't even eat. But I started realizing that this was me, my life, my results, my income,
Mhm,
my lack of income, my lack of a house. And
mhm, mhm.
the common denominator in all of that was me.
Yes, it
That
was your
I did
rocket
this.
of your desire. Where was it going?
Yeah. But back then I didn't. I was blaming external circumstances, right?
Mhm,
Right. Why didn't my mom look after herself better? Why did she have to die so young? Why did my marriage this? Why did my boss that? And it was something my mom always said to me. And if anybody ever comes to any of my webinars, they're going to hear me say this. My mom's words reached out to me from the beyond and said, no matter where you go, there you are. And when I was a kid and she said that, I'd be like, duh, of course, where else would you be? Right. Like I was thinking in very physical,
mhm.
on a physical plane that she meant
Yes.
by that, very literal, but it's much deeper than that. No matter where you go, there you are. It's about me and my choices and what I do. And in watching The Secret and reading The Secret, the name kept popping up over and over and over again. Bob Proctor, Bob Proctor, Bob Proctor. I'm like, who is this guy? And
Mhm,
why does he keep calling to me? You had asked me earlier, Sally, about my necklace. And I'm like, it called to me. It told me it wanted me
mhm.
to wear it today just because I was looking at my necklaces and that's the only necklace I saw. I was like, okay. So it was like that. It was like, for
Well,
some
with
reason, I needed to look at this closer.
yeah,
Yeah.
the in The Secret for me, it was Lisa Nichols.
Oh, yeah.
Her
She's resonated with a
story,
lot of people. She's changed a lot of lives.
she has,
Yeah.
and she still is.
Yeah. She still is. Absolutely. Yeah, I hear about her still. She's out there doing her magic. Um, so Bob, I don't know if it was because of Bob kind of reminded me of my grandpa in some ways.
Mhm,
He's a fellow Canadian. I don't know what it was about him or just the way he spoke. He always spoke with such passion and
Mm-hmm.
authority and made me want to pay attention and listen. He made me want to do the things he was talking about doing. And so I started practicing the principles in The Secret, imagining what I want and just focusing on what I want. And things started happening for me. I said, you know what? $100 would be so good right now. Like, I would love to even just go to McDonald's and be able to afford a sandwich, right? Like, I'm just, there's only so many Ichiban noodles you can eat in a week. But I was just focusing on $100, and I went somewhere and I stepped down and I heard kind of this, like, it didn't feel like the ground under my feet, and I looked down and there were $20 bills scattered everywhere. And I collected the money. I went to the apartment building nearby. I talked to the superintendent or whatever, and I said, if anybody's lost any money, I found some money outside. Here's my phone number. Get them to call me. And I didn't give any more information than that, of course. And I waited for 2 weeks and never heard anything. So I called back and he said, no, but nobody's ever said they lost their rent money. So, I mean, I just, said thank you to the universe. And I was asking for it. So ask and you shall receive. And then more things like that just started happening. And life just turned around. But through the principles and everything that Bob Proctor taught me, what I learned from his free stuff, and then when I was able to, I started investing some money in some of his programs. And as I got better, and in that year that I finally had that realization, I went up to high five-figure incomes in the year. And a lot of my friends are like, whoa, what did you do? And telling people, listen to this chick. She knows what she's talking about, man. She was homeless not even a year ago. And then I was thinking, well, I should develop a program. Like, I need to teach this stuff. Obviously, if like it worked for me and I didn't realize it was going to work for so many other people, and other people started getting, like, they'd message me and say, wow, that thing you told me to do, it worked. Like magic. And I'm like, right? And I was shocked back then too. Now when people tell me that stuff, I'm like, yep.
Yep. That's what happens.
Yep. That's what happens. Yeah. It's magic. You don't question it. You just say, yep, thank you, move on. So I was developing kind of a bit of an idea of how I could teach this stuff. And then I realized that the amazing Mr. Bob Proctor had a program and a course and a training that we could take and learn and become a teacher like he is and teach what he teaches and how he teaches us. Well, like, okay, I got to do this. So I invested in his course and became a certified consultant, trainer, and coach through his company, through the Proctor Gallagher Institute. And I have never looked back. It's one of the best things I've ever done for myself. And so now I work with network marketing, the network marketing industry in particular, because I have been in several, 7 to be exact, network marketing companies. Was never successful in any of them, but there was the same kind of rippling thing through all of them. And through my learnings with coming from my homelessness to where I am now, I understood very clearly we can all do anything. And we all have the same mind. We all have the same higher faculties. We all have the ability to choose. And when we understand that we are in charge of our life, and I make my choices based on my heart and what I want to do and where I'm guided to go, and do it with love and do it with passion and do it with all of your heart, then anybody can do anything. And the results speak for themselves. And this isn't me falling out of bed and bumping my head and coming up with these ideas. These are laws. The natural laws of the universe are laws. They're not made up.
They're like gravity.
They're as real as gravity. Absolutely. Yes. And a lot of people will message me. I get lots of emails and messages from both sides of the spectrum, but people will say this law of attraction thing's all hooey. And I'm like, you can believe in it or not. It doesn't care. And to use your example of gravity, you could not believe in gravity. You could say gravity is just a human construct and it's a gimmick. It's a marketing gimmick or whatever you want to call it. But I guarantee you, if you step off of the top of a 60-story building, Gravity won't care if you believe in it or not. It's going to do what it does. Law of attraction is the same. Effect is the same. What you put out does come back. And if you're not getting what you want in life, you're putting the wrong thing out because the wrong thing's coming back. So we look at our results. Now we've got to pivot. We have to cause a different effect if we don't like the effect we're getting. And it comes back.
Or you get this student who says, I tried so hard to do that thing. I said, no, no. Resistance is not what we want.
Yes.
We want.
Yeah. Yeah. If you have something you're trying to open on any level and you force it with all your might, you break it. You break the door handle, you bust the jar, you break the box, it breaks. You can't force, right? Do you remember, Sally, the glass jars that ketchup used to come in?
Oh, yes.
Right? And we used to pound the bottom of them to get that ketchup out of there, and it wouldn't come. But if you hold the bottle and you tap your finger gently on the neck, it just flows out, right? You just have to give it a gentle nudge, and everything flows. And that's really what it all comes down to, right? What you resist persists. What you force, you break.
Or sometimes I talk about people like with, and another thing that sort of gets them like going in either direction is that everything in the universe has an energy, a frequency, that we all have a certain megahertz that we are. From the leaf on the tree to every complicated human person in the world, there is a certain
all things are energy
frequency that we are at a certain time. And you can feel when it goes up, or you can feel when it goes down. When you get next to somebody who makes you feel, wow, that feels pretty good. You can feel the actual movement. Yeah.
Energy, frequency, and that's in our subconscious mind. That's where our receptors are for picking up that vibrational frequency. Because the frequency, depending on the vibration, high or low, fast or slow, we pick that up. And that's why they use music to create mood in movies and TV shows, right?
Yes.
Music alone can make you sad or make you happy. It can make you cry or make you smile. And it's that frequency. And for those who are not on the awareness plane of this material, they don't understand why. They just know that it is. But when we stop and think, that's why the malls have the music they have. It's the music that's playing in the grocery store is on purpose, right? They're not playing, angry, grungy, guitar pounding music, right? They want you to be pleasant. They want they give you that frequency, that energy, that happiness. So you want to be there longer and
just kind of stroll along and buy more things.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So everything does have a frequency. So if I'm in a bad mood, I'm in a low frequency or a low energetic vibration. If I'm in a good mood, I'm in a high one, but it starts with our mind. It starts with our mind. It does not start with our outside. So if we're feeling bad, we have to ask ourselves, what did I just think about? What did I just get emotionally involved in? Because our body's the instrument of our mind, not the other way around. So whatever we're feeling physically, it started with a thought that we chose to think.
Yes, and now
got emotionally involved in.
We tied in our gut microbiome as our second brain. And then we've got this bidirectional thing going on. So I tell people junk food, junk mood.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's all connected. And going back to it's all energy. Is it good energy or bad energy? Good food or bad food? If you can't pronounce it, don't put it in your mouth.
Yes. Right? Yes, if you can't go out and buy all the ingredients to make the thing that you're going to buy, whatever, then it's made somewhere in a plant that has those things in big quantities. So you don't need
Yeah.
those things. If you can't pull it up
Yeah.
out of the ground or grab it off a tree or pronounce it, let's don't put it in our mouths. Let's don't do
That
that.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. But yeah, it's all but it's yeah, it's just what we're feeding ourselves all day long.
Mm.
Our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, our food, all of it. And the awareness of how we're feeling and not being because there's planes oh my goodness, what's the word? Levels of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
At the very bottom, basic is animal, and that's just reacting to everything. Going at the whim and wish of the world, waking up in the morning and just seeing what the world's going to give you instead of deciding today I'm going to create abundance. Today I'm going to have an amazing day and setting that intention and designing our day towards that. Then something goes bad, we're like, that's okay. I'm having a good day today. I'm not going to let that bother me, and we just move forward in a better way. And so we get to choose: are we going to be mad or sad? Are we going to be happy and excited? Are we going to work to get towards the amazing life we want to live? Or are we going to look at all the stuff we don't have and we don't like, and we're just going to focus on that, talk to our friends about that, and post it on social media, and get into the pity party and the negative energy, the negative mindset, and create more of that in our life? It's the choose. It's the choice. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I used to teach a class with teenage boys, and they were usually they usually came from a household that wasn't the best in the world, and it's probably only one parent, and they probably worked a lot and they weren't around. And so anytime somebody would do something that they considered disrespectful, like bumping into them or anything like that, they just like decided that they were going to just go full on fisticuffs. And so they were in a class by themselves. So they brought me in. I was working as a psychology in the school district. One of the funniest jobs I ever had. It was really fun. And I would go in there and I sat down with these guys and I said, I really like your green hair. And the guy looked at me and he said quite a few choice words, which won't be repeatable here, but it's kind of the local language. There's like a dialect. Yeah. I said, yeah, your green hair. He says, you one crazy wahine. What you mean? What you mean I got green hair? I said, do you have green hair? And he said, well, of course not. I said, well, when this other guy told you were stupid, are you stupid? He said, well, no. I said, well, why would you hit him when he told you were stupid when you aren't stupid? And why would you hit someone if you told them that you had green hair? And he went, huh? 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 So that was the beginning of the conversation. And so I would encourage them to say green hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it my hair green?
Replace that word. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever it was.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? It's really that easy. It's that easy. Right?
Yeah.
People walk around all day long saying I'm broke. Why don't they walk around all day saying I'm abundant and I'm prosperous? It's the same. Napoleon Hill in the amazing book You Were Born Think and Grow Rich was said it takes no more effort to aim high in life than to accept misery and poverty. So why not aim high in life? Right?
Yeah, my mom used to say it's just as easy to smile as it is to frown.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you get to choose all those kind of things. Now
we get to choose.
You have brought up some principles that people who understand them or have studied them would say, yay, yay. But suppose someone's listening to us and they go, are these girls for real? Really? These women, are they for real? So how do you go about teaching someone a tenet or principle that they may or may not embrace initially?
I approach my clients and my students from where they are. I have worked with people one-on-one, full on for 6 months and never mentioned the law of attraction. Never mentioned. We don't have to know these words. We don't have to understand how the law of cause and effect works to have an amazing life. If you, talking to your audience, if you don't grasp this, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just know that my mind and your mind are exactly the same. We all have the ability to think and choose. It's our right to think and choose. What I've accomplished, what Sally's accomplished, what anybody you admire accomplished, you can do it as well. We all are born with imagination, intuition, perception, reason, memory, and will. We all have it. How are you using it? Using it properly? What do you feel about money? Do you believe that you can have the thing that you truly want? Do you believe that you deserve it? Do you believe that you're capable of getting it? If you can say yes to those, you're on your way. If it's a no, then somebody can help you get there.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can get there. Whatever is in your heart to achieve, whatever goal you want. If you want to take your kids to Disneyland, if you've always wanted to own a Lamborghini, guess what? There are Lamborghinis out there for sale.
Yeah.
You can have one. Other people have one, so can you.
Mm-hmm.
You've just got to do things the right way. And I'm willing to bet, Sally, everybody in your audience that's listening to this, you already know how to do it. You don't need to learn more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to start doing the things you know how to do and do them better than you're doing them. Then you too can have it all. We all know how to email. We all know how to send a text message, a phone call, post on social media. We all know how to do these. And if we do them the right way, we can all have whatever's in our heart. And the beautiful thing is, one person wants a blue Lamborghini, somebody else wants to bring clean water to a village that has none. And so we don't all want the same thing. Whatever's in your heart to have, there's no entity out there, God, Buddha, Allah, universe, whatever name you want to put to it, that is saying that person shall be successful, this person shall not. It doesn't work that way. It's how we think, feel, and act within ourselves. We can have it all. And none of this other stuff we're talking about in terms we're throwing around even matter.
Yes, and
just
we all
believe in
have
yourself and believe in your goal.
The same amount of minutes every single day. We all have the same minutes.
Yes, yes. I heard somebody say the other day again, and it kind of floors me when people say this now, but wow, the days go by so fast. Or time's flying. No, it's not. There's always been 24 hours in a day. Just saying. As far as I know, there's only 365 days in a year. So what are you doing with that time? Right? And where do you want to be at the end of this year, this week, the end of today? Right?
And what impact do you want to make in the world? What's your legacy?
Right. Right. And what I work with, Sally, with everybody, anywhere, any level of management, any income level, whether it's a mom who's just trying to get back into the work field, or if it's a multi-millionaire, it comes down to what do you want and why do you want it? People have a business, a job, a side hustle, but why are you doing it? Mm-hmm. What is your goal? And why do you want that goal? Not why are you running your business? What do you want from your life? Because what you want for yourself and your family, that money will come from your business. So when we decide what we want from life, some people say, oh, I just want to pay my rent. I want to have money to pay my rent. Really? Don't you want to buy a house in the country or by the ocean? Like, shoot for the stars. Shoot for the stars.
Well, I learned
yes, you have little short goals along the way, but what's the big goal? And let's get your business to a place where it's making money to pay that goal. And that's your goal, and that's your why, and that's why you get out of bed in the morning. And yes, you can have it because it's in your heart. It is in your ability.
Yes, I learned one time, a long time ago, that money doesn't care who owns it. It actually has no preference.
No.
One way or the other.
It doesn't care. No. It's like the law of attraction, for those of you that believe in it. It doesn't care. what you are thinking and feeling. It will bring you what you're thinking and feeling. It doesn't care. The universe doesn't care what you ask for. In your heart of hearts, it will bring it to you. Money doesn't care where it goes. Money is everywhere. There's just as much money on the planet now as there was 20 years ago, 10 years ago. Actually, In fact,
someone gave me a number that is the amount of money just sitting in checking accounts, not invested, just sitting in checking accounts. It's over something like $30 trillion that's out there easily floating around, that if you decide you need some of it and you figure out a way to serve people and impact people, it just starts raining on your head. But sometimes people say, oh, it's got to be hard. No. If you make it hard, you might take you longer to actually get where you want to go if you try to make it hard. If you just let it happen to you, just be first. Don't do first, just be. And then the sequence will happen in its proper order. You don't have to even think much about it.
Yeah, I do. But I want to kind of preface that a little bit, Sally, that people do. It's hard to accept these things that you and I are talking about for people who truly don't know how they're going to pay their rent this month. They really don't know how. And I had, through that thing that happened in 2020 that shall not be named.
Yes.
That thing that happened back then. I had a lot of people reaching out to me and asking about, I'm going to lose my house and I can't feed my kids, and and these things were happening, and my heart goes out to everybody who's in that position where I used to be. And when I talked to them after, I've reached out to several of them. I wanted to keep in touch with them, whether they were my clients or not. Like, my heart just, what can I do? Like, if I could buy an entire city and just let them all come live there for free, I would have, right? But I can't. And you know what? Most of them are still in their apartment. They did have food. They found a way to clothe their children. As far as I know, nobody passed away. Nobody became homeless. And if they did, you know what? I was homeless too, and it's part of the experience. And maybe we're just going camping. Maybe we're not homeless. Maybe we're going camping, right? And looking at it a different way, but everybody came out fine. So you're going to be okay. You've got this. And whatever happens, it's going to turn around. If you begin to start thinking about, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? How do I increase this? Who can I talk to? If you're asking the universe for money and help, then any help that comes to you, say yes. By example, Dr. Sally, I had one lady tell me that she needs money. She needs income. In the end, 2 seconds later, she was telling me her grandma offered her $100, and she said no. Oh, but my grandma can't afford that. I'm like, but you've asked, you've put out there you want money. Somebody offered you money, you said no. What? A homeless gentleman I was talking to in South Africa desperately needed money for food. A cab driver stopped him and asked him for directions, and he was trying to explain it wasn't working. He said, hop in, and if you want to hop in and just show me where it is, I'd be forever grateful. So he did, and the cab driver offered to give him money for taking him to the location he needed to go to, and the gentleman said no. I'm like, what are you doing? Why did you say no? We're asking and we're being offered the help, and then we're saying no to it. So be aware of all of that. What you ask for is being given to you, but you've got to be open to receiving it, because it's right there in front of you. Almost always, the answer is right there in front of you.
I used to not pick up pennies.
I
used to not pick up pennies because, honestly, I think we should take them out of circulation. They're a little bit of a nuisance, and nobody hardly uses pennies anymore. But if I see a penny on the ground, I'm going to pick it up and put it in my change purse because later on I might need it for something. And if I don't pick it up, the universe might say, hey, she doesn't even want a penny. We're trying to give her a penny. Maybe next time we'll give her a quarter. And if she's not picking up any pennies, maybe she won't even pick up a quarter. So we're just going to leave her at pennies. So I do like to say to people, when someone asks you to give you something, whether it's something they've worn before and they think it might fit you and it doesn't fit them anymore, or anything like that, and you're too proud for the universe to help you, then you'll stay in your proudness for a really long time until you release it, or the universe smacks you across the head and says, hey, wake up.
Yeah, that's the beautiful part about knowing what you want and why you want it. Because when you're thinking about a new job, for example, we're thinking about having income, then we're looking for the circumstances to make that happen. When we write out our goal every day, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have a $10,000 a month job. We're actually putting out the awareness ourselves. So when we're walking around and somebody says something, we have that awareness. We've set up that intention inside of ourselves to see it and to experience it and to go, wow, maybe this is that $10,000 job. And you go look at it. Whereas if you keep thinking you're broke and stuff and somebody offers you a $10,000 a month job, you might think, oh, I don't deserve that. Oh, I'm homeless. You don't want me to work for you. And then we poo-poo on it. So when we know what we want, then we're focusing on what we want, and we're going to see the circumstances around that. And then we must say yes. If we want people to help us and a child offers us a sticky candy, we got to say yes. You don't have to put it in your mouth, but you do have to take it because you've asked for somebody to help you. You wanted food, a child offered you a sticky candy. Mm-hmm. Better be more specific next time. Right?
Well, I only recently sort of started listening to John Assaraf. He's been around for a really long time, and I like his bottom line question. Are you interested or are you committed? Because there's a huge difference between those two words.
Yeah.
And when you're really committed and you're willing to let everything go around you because of this commitment, Joseph Campbell would say, one door will close, the next one will open.
Yeah.
If you follow your bliss. So knowing where your bliss is allows you to just be pulled by the universe in sort of a magical kind of way. You don't have to do pushing or shoving or beating yourself up. It's just you're pulled along and things just start coming to you. And I would love for everyone to have that experience. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it is. It is fun. And when things just show up with like magic, and it's fun for me when my clients message me and go, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm happy for you, but I'm not surprised." But you're right. What if we're willing and able are the only two things that we need to ask. Are you willing and are you able? And we are all able. We are all fully capable. The question is, are you willing? Are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to do what it takes to get to that next level? Because who I am got me to here. Who I am is not going to get me to there.
No.
So who am I over there? And then I got to bring that person to here and become that person.
Yes.
Start acting like the person that's living the life that you want to live. And then you shall become, right? A millionaire is a millionaire in their mind first before they're a millionaire in their bank account, right? Because you got to be willing. You absolutely have to be willing, Sally. You're right. When I interview people who want to be clients with me, I actually interview my clients.
Oh, yes.
to see if they truly are ready. And if they're not ready, then because it's a journey, it's an amazing journey, but you got to be ready and willing and able to do everything that you got to do to get there. But I promise you can get there.
Yes. And sometimes you're the container that holds on while they're moving. And you're the container that says, okay, I see you as a millionaire. I've got it. I can see it. And then they get little glimpses of it. And then they get closer and closer. See, that to
Yeah.
me is the fun part of personal development and helping other people get to where they think they want to go. And then when they get close to getting there, they think, oh, this wasn't what I wanted. Anyway, I wanted something different. And when they make that little side pivot and then zoom, they take off like a rocket.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's magical and it's beautiful and everybody can do it.
Yes. Well, tell me a little bit about, you mentioned you had taken a program and put together a series, and it's sort of a self-directed study. And the name came to you while you were in the shower.
Please, supposed to share that part.
Oh,
I love it. Yes,
you
that's
didn't want them to know you take a shower?
it's called Beyond Your Beliefs. It hit me in a moment, and that's a testament to when we still our mind, when we're quiet. Don't have to meditate, just sit quietly and listen to your inner guidance system. Our intuition is correct almost 100% of the time if we're willing to listen to it, to call that person, to go to this place, to do whatever. And so I asked the universe for a name for my new program. And when I least expected it, in the shower, Beyond Your Beliefs popped into my head. So yes, thank you. I did I had a paid group in Facebook for a year, for almost exactly 12 months. And every week I did a training on mindset, on goals, on beliefs, on how the mind works, on attitude, on what makes up a good leader, of the levels of awareness I was talking to earlier. And my assistant and I took 15 of the best trainings from that time frame in that paid group, and we created a self-study program. Not everybody has time to show up on a Zoom on a scheduled time to see somebody that may or may not be able to help them get to where they want to go, because maybe you've had a coach before. So I put together Beyond Your Beliefs. It's 15 of my very best trainings from that entire year of trainings. And you pop in, they get a training, a module, whatever you want to call it, a lesson. Each week opens up to you. It has 4 questions on it. You watch the video, answer the questions every day. If you really want to get to where you want to go, that repetition is so important. You cannot just listen to it once and expect change. We became the people we are. We have the habits and beliefs we have from repetition, from our parents and our teachers and our inner voice drilling these things over and over and over and over in our head. So we need to do that with something better, replace it with something new. So every day for a week, then you get a new one, and you go through a 15-week process on your own time. And also when clients enroll in this, there's a bonus section actually in the training, Sally, I didn't tell you about, where at any time throughout that 15 weeks when they're stuck and they're like, oh my God, I just wish I could talk to Connie. You can, because there's a one-time link in there for them to click on to book a 1-hour coaching session free with me. And that's actually worth more than what I'm charging for the program itself. So so one or the other is actually free if you take me up on that coaching call. And it is a coaching call. It's not a sales call. It's not me upselling or anything. It's just helping people to get beyond their beliefs, because where we are right now, when we change our beliefs, then we can go beyond where we are right now. So I love it. And the website is gobeyondyourbeliefs.com.
Wonderful. And in the show notes, whenever you go to listen to this on all the many places you can listen, Apple, Spotify, listen notes, I can't keep naming them, but even on your own podcaster thing, the show notes will tell you all the things of how to reach Connie, and it'll tell you a little bit about her, and also some of the other stuff she has that you might want to take a look at that as well. But you can tell just by listening to her that she really wants you to succeed. She wants you to have the best life possible. And that's part of her enjoyment, is to see that in you. So if we only had many coaches like Connie Ann, the world would be such a beautiful, wonderful place. And I'm just so honored that you came and spent this time with me. We spent 45 minutes just babbling on about stuff. But it's been
Well, I hope we got some value out there.
Yes, I'm sure we absolutely did. And I am going to we'll also have this on YouTube. You can watch this on YouTube. You can listen to us in your earbud as you're walking along. And so today I'm going to just close it out with a little bit of music and say thank you so much, Connie Ann. This has been Good Body, Good Brain. I so appreciate you being with us here today. It was actually really, really wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care, everybody.